I didn't think coffee could ruin a life. Not like this. Not like waking up with shaking hands, a missing hour of time, and a dead man in the office break room, while every security log points straight at you. But that's where it started. With coffee, too much of it. At first, it felt harmless. 2 cups before work, then 4. Then I stopped counting and started measuring my day in refills instead of hours. I told myself I was just tired, that everyone in tech runs on caffeine and stress. But there's a line you cross when your body stops feeling like yours. I crossed it without noticing. The first strange thing happened on a Tuesday. I remember walking into the office at 6:41 a.m. The building was empty, except for the cleaning crew and the hum of fluorescent lights. I went straight to the break room and made coffee like I always did. That's the last thing I remember clearly. The next memory is my manager standing in front of me, asking why I was sitting on the floor. My hands were burned. The coffee machine was still running, and my coworker, Daniel Ruiz, wasn't breathing. At first, they didn't say the word murder. They said incident. Then they said investigation. Then they stopped letting me leave the building, because everything pointed to me. My fingerprints were on the mug next to Daniel's body. My access card had been used to enter the break room after midnight, and security footage showed someone in my jacket, walking in. Not walking out, but here's what no one could explain. I didn't remember any of it. Not a second. The police asked me the same questions over and over. Did you argue with him? No. Did you meet him last night? No. Then why were you there? And I kept saying the only honest thing I had. I don't know. That's when they started looking at my habits, the coffee intake, the sleeplessness, the jittery speech in the interview recording. One officer actually said half under his breath, "He looks like he hasn't slept in a week." They weren't wrong. I hadn't, not properly, not for a long time, but it still didn't explain Daniel Ruiz dead on the floor with a cracked mug beside his head. The official cause was blunt force trauma. A single strike, clean enough to be intentional, close enough to be personal, and somehow still me. I was suspended pending charges. My apartment was searched. My laptop was taken. Even my coffee grinder was bagged as evidence. That detail still sticks with me. A coffee grinder, like it mattered, like caffeine was the weapon. The worst part wasn't the accusation, it was the gaps. The missing time kept growing. At first it was minutes, then hours. Then a full block between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. the night Daniel died. I started writing everything down, every cup, every feeling, every jitter in my hands. And that's when I noticed something that didn't fit. I was drinking coffee I didn't remember making. Not instant office coffee either. Fresh ground, the expensive beans I never bought. But they were showing up in my kitchen anyway. New bags, different roasts, always half empty. Like someone was living my life alongside me. On the 4th day of suspension, I went back to the office. I shouldn't have been allowed in, but I still had a backup access badge I never turned in. No one stopped me. The building felt different at night. Quieter. Like it was holding its breath. I went straight to the break room, the same place it happened. The coffee machine was still there, cleaned, replaced filters. Nothing looked out of place. But I knew something was wrong the second I touched it. The machine had been modified. There was a second reservoir inside the water tank, a small one, almost invisible unless you knew where to look. And it wasn't empty. There was residue, not coffee, something else. That's when I heard footsteps behind me. Didn't think you'd come back. It was Lisa Mercer from HR. Calm voice, careful tone, the kind of calm that doesn't belong in a murder investigation. I needed to see it, I said. She looked at the machine instead of me. You shouldn't be here. I didn't kill him. A pause, then she said something I didn't expect. I know. That stopped me, because nobody else had said that. Not the police, not my lawyer, not even my friends. Just her. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Daniel wasn't your target. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? She hesitated like she was deciding how much truth I was allowed to hear. Then she said, he was going to expose someone. That was the first real shift. The first crack in the story I'd been forced into. Daniel wasn't just a coworker, he was compliance auditing payroll discrepancies, access logs, vendor payments, and he found something tied to internal theft. He told the wrong person, or the right person, depending on how you look at it. Lisa watched my face carefully. "You were being used," she said. "Your routine, your habits, your caffeine dependency." I laughed once, sharp and empty. "You're saying coffee made me kill him?" "No," she said. "I'm saying someone used coffee to make sure you couldn't remember not doing it." That's when it started clicking. The blackouts weren't random, the exhaustion wasn't natural, and the coffee machine, it wasn't just making coffee. It was dosing me. I felt sick, not from guilt, from realization. Someone had been controlling my wakefulness, my memory, my body, and I had no idea who I was when I wasn't paying attention. "I need to see security logs," I said. Lisa shook her head immediately. "You can't." "Then I already know who it is," I said, even though I didn't. But I was starting to. Because there was one person who always had access. One person who knew my schedule better than I did. One person who never questioned how much coffee I drank. The office maintenance contractor, specifically the one who serviced the break room machine. A guy named Ethan Cole, quiet, forgettable, always polite, always the one who fixed the coffee machine when it broke down, always around when I felt the worst. Lisa didn't confirm it, but she didn't deny it either. That was enough. The next morning, I waited in the office parking garage. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I couldn't leave it unresolved. At 7:12 a.m., Ethan showed up. Same routine, same paper bag lunch, same calm expression. When he saw me, he didn't look surprised. That was the moment I knew. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "I could say the same," I replied. He sighed like I was a scheduling conflict, not a witness to murder. "You're not thinking clearly, Keir," he said. "No," I said. "For the first time in weeks, I am." He looked past me toward the building. "You really don't remember, do you?" That sentence hit harder than anything else, because it sounded almost sad, almost sympathetic. "I remember enough," I said. He nodded slowly. "Then you remember Daniel yelling at you in the break room?" I didn't, but my brain tried to fill the gap anyway. A flicker, raised voices, a hand on my shoulder, a shove, then nothing. "That wasn't you," he continued. "That was what they'll believe. It's what you'll believe if you let them." My hands were shaking again, not from caffeine this time, from fear. "Why?" I asked. He finally met my eyes, and there was no panic there, only exhaustion. Because Daniel wasn't the only one asking questions. That's when it all collapsed into place. The payroll fraud, the hidden vendor accounts, the fake maintenance invoices tied to break room servicing. Ethan wasn't just maintaining equipment, he was laundering money through it, and Daniel found the pattern. So Ethan didn't just kill him, he built a narrative, a perfect one, a disposable one. Me, the coffee addict who nobody would believe. The man already losing time, already unreliable, already easy to frame. I stepped back slowly. "You drugged me," I said. He didn't deny it. "You were the easiest part," he admitted. "You never noticed what you were consuming." That was it. Not rage, not denial, just acceptance settling in like cold water. "You're going to turn yourself in," I said. He smiled faintly. "No, you are." And for the first time, I understood the real reason for the missing time. The coffee wasn't just to disorient me. It was to create controlled blackouts, so he could use my access, my body, my identity, like a key he could turn whenever he needed. Sirens echoed faintly in the distance. Ethan glanced over his shoulder. "Too late," he said quietly. But he was wrong, because Lisa Mercer stepped out of the stairwell behind him with 2 security officers. Phone already recording. Calm, just like before. "I told you he'd come here," she said. And Ethan's expression finally cracked. Not fear, calculation, like he was revising a failed equation. The officers moved in. He didn't resist. Not really, just looked at me one last time. "You still won't remember it correctly," he said. Then he was gone. Weeks later, the full investigation came out. The coffee machine modifications, the sedative micro-dosing system, the financial fraud trail, and Daniel Ruiz's final report recovered from an encrypted drive Ethan couldn't erase fast enough. My name was cleared, but they were right about one thing. I still don't remember everything that happened inside those missing hours. Sometimes I wake up and the smell of coffee is enough to make my hands shake again. I don't drink it like I used to. I don't trust it. But I also don't blame it anymore, because it was never the coffee that made everything fall apart. It was someone who learned how easy it is to control a person who never stops consuming something meant to keep them awake, and how easy it is to make that same person disappear inside their own life.